Sue, get down. Sue, get down. What's going on, YouTube? These are my dogs and they won't leave me alone this morning, but today we're going to talk about the Odin Project and how to make good projects for your developer portfolio. So let me tell you a little bit about the Odin Project. The Odin Project is a free, open source, online learning community similar to Free Code Camp. Their stack is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Ruby, and Ruby on Rails. So that's the main framework that you'll be using to complete the projects. But the cool thing that I found when I was researching a little bit was that, what are you doing? So the main thing that I found while researching is that it's all project based. And so you log in, you pick a course, and then you scroll down, and then it says, okay, these are the little pages that you read. It's not really video based at all. It's just static pages with instructions of how to do something. And the way it's laid out is that they challenge you to make something, and then you go and you try to do it. And then if you scroll to the very bottom, you can see other students that have completed the project and posted their code. And you don't have to, be afraid of like what people are going to think of your code, because I was just looking at a couple of the projects and it was like, yeah, I can tell this is their first time coding, but this is still a really good project to have. For example, one of them was a Pomodoro application. If you don't know what a Pomodoro is, that is where you work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, do that 3 more times, and then take a 15-minute break. But it's just like a timer application. And then the very final project for the Odin Project is recreating Facebook by using basically Ruby on Rails. So you need to know how to handle data, and you need to know how to move data around. They teach you about unit testing. They teach you about validations with Ruby. So Ruby on Rails, just being, from what I can tell by the data, there's not as many job opportunities with Ruby on Rails. Having said that, Ruby on Rails is a great MVC to learn. So if you learn MVC, Model View Controller, it's a great way to start. And Laravel, PHP, is just a copy-paste version of Ruby on Rails. And then you could take the MVC knowledge you have from that and then go to Angular and learn how to do some directives. And then you could even do React. So you could learn React separately and then have Ruby on Rails on the back end to handle all of your models and your data and how you're pulling information and then putting that to the front end. Now, so again, Ruby on Rails is probably not the best, it's probably not the most growing framework, and Ruby's probably not the most growing language right now. So job opportunities may or may not be as good as, say, React, since that's like what everybody wants right now. But it's a great skill to build on and start from, especially getting the fundamental concepts of model views and controllers and how they work and how you set up all your config files to connect to a database and all these things that's pretty much carries over into other languages. And so that's why the Odin Project, at least to me, for a free resource, as I was looking through it, it seemed pretty well done. There's no video follow along, but if you get stuck, you just scroll to the bottom and click view source code for like 50 other people that have completed the project, and you see how they've done it. Or you can click the other link for most of the projects and you can see a live working version of it to get some inspiration. So if you didn't want to do the exact project, go to the bottom and look at what the students have and then make your own version, or tweak it, or add features, or remove features. Everyone thinks you have to make the exact same project as someone else. Just take something and then put your own spin on it. Like you could make a 25-minute timer, which is the typical Pomodoro app, but then you could just make it into a 5-minute sprint task or a batching task. So if you ever heard of Tim Ferriss, he's the guy who wrote the 4-Hour Workweek, he talks about batching tasks. So you get a bunch of tasks and you batch them all together and you just get a load of related work done all at one time. I don't know. This is just, I'm thinking off the top of my head. So one thing before we jump in, I want to say thank you to the patrons, the Martin Fee and V. Laszlo. So I have a Patreon. I know not all of you can afford to help the channel, or the next time you do, if I've helped you out, maybe consider me. I'd appreciate that. The link for it is in the description below. Another thing, I have the Discord. The link for the Discord is also in the description below. I will welcome you to the channel. I want you to ask me questions. This is where I get my engagement going when I'm not doing live streams. So hop in there. We have a good community of people. We try to keep it mature. I mean, we have some fun, but right, we take it serious. We want people to be progressing and be growing, and like there's people that have gotten jobs from watching the videos, and now we're supporting them through that process. So it'd be cool if you joined. If you're wondering why I'm wearing this tank top and look like a douche, it's because I'm going to the gym after I film and edit this video and then do a live stream. If you like this video, hit subscribe and the bell. Thanks. Okay, so start with google.com. Come up here, Odin Project. The first result, the odinproject.com. All right, here we are. Let's look at the curriculum first. Let's click View Full Curriculum, and then let's start with Web Development 101. Let me open up this, browse through it. So how this course will work, they already start you out with command line basics, which is what you'll need to do Git. So it walks you through the overview, prerequisites, text editors that you might use. First application already right here, your first Rails application. Now, given, let's open it up in a new tab here. So your first Rails app, it sets you up with Git and GitHub. Walks you through your SSH so you don't have to type in your username and password every time. Gem install Rails. It tells you how to basic Rails app. Generate scaffold right here. I don't know if you can see it. That is your first project just right out of the box. Git basics, practicing Git basics. So introduction. We have the front end, the back end. So this walks you through like an overview of everything that you're doing. Look at this pair programming project, for example. If we look at the introduction, right, tells you what it is, tells you all the prerequisites that you need. So it talks about the assignment and what it is. So the Pomodoro technique I was telling you about is 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Do that 3 more times and you take a 15-minute break. But if you scroll down to the bottom, you can add your own solutions to the GitHub. We can look at the student's actual code here, or that we can go back and we can view in browser and see what he actually made. So he's got start, pause, stop. There's some pretty cool stuff in here. So this one, right? So these are good applications to have. So imagine if you threw some real pretty Sass, or you templated this a little bit using some sort of pre-built, then you implemented this with the styles to match it. That would be pretty cool. Let's go back here and then try it all together. Conclusion. And this is just the very Web Development 101. So it just throws you right in there. And but as you can see, it's not video focused or anything. It's all just written out for you. No like real follow-alongs. So let's go back to the curriculum, and then we can go to Ruby. So this starts you off with building blocks, advanced building blocks. So this starts you off with building blocks, advanced building blocks, project, object-oriented programming, file, input-output serialization. So these are all projects that you could do to put on your GitHub. Now you don't actually have to do everything exactly the same way. It even covers databases. Everyone needs to know a little bit of SQL. I always say that. So you need front end, back end, some SQL. Oh look, we have a project for SQL here. It's a SQL Zoo, so we can come down here and we can look at people's solutions for solving select basics, select name, talks about some joins, and then you need to be able to do the prerequisites. Why can't I talk? Let's come back down here. Ruby on Rails is the next one, HTML and CSS. I haven't actually looked at this one yet, didn't know. Embedding images and video, HTML forms, positioning floating elements, design UI UX, project design teardown. So this is a good place if you are taking a job where a designer is going to be handing you down a PSD file, Photoshop design file, and then you have to break that apart and make that into actual responsive HTML and Sass, and use CSS Grid or Bootstrap or whatever it is. We can come over here to JavaScript. JavaScript doesn't cover that much, but they do cover the front-end frameworks. So we have Vue, React, Angular, project frameworks. So let's look at the Ruby on Rails one. It walks you through basics of Sinatra, which is a lightweight framework. You have to do a lot of stuff yourself, but it's good to get started with this so that you're not dependent upon the things that Ruby on Rails provides. You might want to know how stuff works under the hood a little bit. Ruby on Rails doesn't really reveal that to you unless you go digging. It talks about the basic MVC structure, routes, views, controllers. It's got some models in here. And again, there's just project after project after project. If you've ever wanted to create a login page and you're wondering well, how do I log them in? Here you go. It talks about active record, APIs, and then the final project here at the bottom, building Facebook. So you're actually making Facebook and you're uploading it to a website. You're using authentication. Here's the requirements. It's not really easy, right? But imagine if you recreated an entire Facebook and you were to show that to an employer. This is an amazing idea. You got extra credit, getting started. It tells you almost everything. But if you get stuck and you want to know how someone else has done it, well, don't worry about it. You can just come here to the bottom and you can click View in Browser. Look, now we have Odin book, log in with Facebook, email, password. So this will function exactly the same as Facebook because you're using a backend, you're using authentication, you're using everything. So I think the Odin project is pretty comprehensive, especially for being free. I can't find a link that says anything about payments. it's pretty crazy. So this must be how they make money, right? So this is an affiliate marketing link with Thinkful here. Come down here. I get a lot of questions about, is it too old to code? I think one of these success stories talks about how someone was 32 years old and then they learned how to program and they got themselves a job. So the community exists so that you can go to the forum. You can post your questions in here. You click this little box. You can go straight to chat and it will open up what's called Gitter. Gitter is a development chat platform. I'm not sure how similar this is with Free Code Camp, but from what I know about Free Code Camp is that it looks pretty familiar, and if it has a community to back you up, and maybe we could get something going, like the challenge for next month could be the Odin Project or something, or try to complete the curriculum. Maybe I could do this and just film myself doing it. Like it's been a while since I've done Ruby on Rails from scratch. Like I can do the basic stuff, but seeing, like, recreating a Facebook, I haven't done that with Ruby on Rails, so like walking through that with you guys, maybe that would be fun to show you and explain how everything's working. That could be pretty cool. But this is the Odin Project. It's a very little simple website, but it's pretty thorough in everything that it offers, and it's pretty up to date. So the only, I suppose you could consider, drawback would be that it's in Ruby on Rails and not, say, like Python or any of those other ones. But again, as I said before, Ruby on Rails is a great place to start with an MVC, because those concepts you can take from this framework to other frameworks and then go ahead and like boost your ability to get started. And then connecting to databases doesn't change a whole lot. Just the syntax changes. So this seems like a good place. This is totally open source, and I'm pretty sure the only way they make money is with that Thinkful link at the bottom. And there's a lot of cool projects in here. And then again, if you can't figure it out, you just click on the complete project and reverse engineer it to help get what you want. And then again, if you can't figure it out, they have a community. And again, if you can't figure it out, go ahead and join that Discord. Link for the Discord is in the description below. Love to have you there. You can ask us questions there too. I hope you guys like this video. If you want to see more, click that little subscribe button, and I'll see you later today for the daily stream. That's a new thing that I'm doing, so